Killer 7 is one of those games that always baffles me that it was made. The fact that Capcom was so willing to put out something so experimental during this time period is insane. It's certainly a far cry from the safer route they've chosen to take in recent memory. Even though the game did manage to come out and eventually find itself getting a PC remaster later on, it's not actually complete. According to Suda himself, only about 1/3 of what was written managed to make it into the game. There are about 2/3 left on the cutting room floor. Where I wanted to start off first is what's referred to as the beta trailer. So everyone knows about this game being a part of the titular Capcom 5 when Killer 7 was revealed. There was a couple trailers that accompanied this reveal as well. So I was able to find 3 trailers in total for the game. There's one from Tokyo Game Show, Famitsu Wave, and of course E3. Each one has slight differences, but the big thing is it showcases a lot of things that we didn't actually see in the game. I'm not going to go over every little detail here because you can see it for yourself on the screen, and that would be really boring. A couple of the tidbits from the trailer have also made their way online, one of which is the cutscene of Curtis Blackburn in a black suit killing Dan. I'm not really sure what number of death this is for Dan, but it's really cool to see Curtis in a black suit as opposed to his white suit in the final game. I'm assuming they changed it to white to contrast Dan's black suit. The white also looks cooler in my opinion too. It's also pretty awesome to see Curtis kill Dan with freaking invisible guns. That's one scary man. Most of the cut content that's leaked seems to be about Curtis, with another cutscene featuring Harmon chastising him as he's nothing but a bloody stump on the ground. Then there's also the case of Ayame Blackburn, everybody's favorite anime girl. She originally had a design that was more akin to Sailor Moon, or is that Hatsune Miku? I'd assume that this was changed to avoid the resemblance to Sailor Moon. It's a very odd change, whatever the reasoning. A cut mission was also featured in the trailers and went by the name of Temple of Horizon. The majority of the level is a bunch of hallways and staircases, but the important thing to note is that it also features the room where Dan gets killed by Curtis. Sundance Shot was also supposed to appear in this mission too, with a cutscene between him and Dan. And if you didn't know, Sundance is another character from Suda, from the game Flower, Sun, and Rain. Out of all the Smiths in Killer 7, I feel like Kevin doesn't really get much acknowledgement. This is probably due to him being mute. Originally, though, he was supposed to have a voice, as some voice files were found in the game for him.
Alright, gentlemen. Oh, you're a lucky son of a bitch.
His voice actor, though, is uncredited like many voice actors in the game are. Now, let's go look at some changes in the character designs. But before I do that, I want to thank Gaith on Blue Sky for pointing me in the direction of these. I found this information on a website called The Cutting Room Floor. Okay, are you ready for this? Alright, here we go. Yep, that's Almeida right there. Apparently he was supposed to be nude. I, for one, am really happy that they decided to make him wear clothes. I mean, he's already powerful enough as it is. The next one is the boss from the first mission. Her appearance is significantly toned down and less anime. The design on the first boss always confused me as to why it was an anime girl. I mean, it's the second character in the game that had the appearance of one. Then there's another image where her face is blue for some reason. I completely forgot about this NPC, but the Archangel, which gives you the demon gun, has a couple models here. I'm not really sure if this is a case of a change in character design, or if it's just finishing the model. The other two look incomplete. Now, in the beta of Killer 7, Khan was prominently featured and had a small change to his character design. Instead of rocking his red Daredevil bandana, it's actually blue here. His pants are also much shorter and feature a symbol on his belt buckle. His skin tone is also a bit lighter than the final game, but I'm glad they changed the colors to the design. The cultist remnant Psyche in Almeida City is also shown in a hot pink jumpsuit. Now this is one of my favorite bits. Before Dan's design got a little streamlined, we almost had a buff Dan. Seeing Dan look like a JoJo character isn't something I knew I needed, but this is hilarious. His hair also looks a little bit more unkempt too. John DePaul is one of those out-of-nowhere characters, but his design was originally more boring as he wore all black with a baseball cap. There's also an early version of Amir Parkreiner with him having a longer haircut and a younger looking face. This one's really minor, but Hiroyasu was supposed to have a red tie instead of a colorful one. Wow, that's so interesting, I know, right? Another enemy that got changed was the humanoid Heaven Smile, which actually look humanoid here. I'm glad they changed it to this one because it just looks like some guy. And then the character Julia Kisugi had some subtle changes like having a longer skirt and less exposed cleavage. Suda, you weirdo, I see what you did there. There was a cut character named KBT, which the cutting room floor speculates it being the superintendent. This one's a speculated remnant Psyche of Matsuoka, which of course didn't die in the actual game. Kun Lan had some big redesigns with him looking less eccentric in his original design. The thing I do like is that the eyes look more like a remnant Psyche, and it looks a lot scarier than the red irises. I don't remember this character, but this one's called Mad Doctor, which I would assume is a doctor that is mad. Shinya Akiba's design is less gory and blander. The suit makes it look harder to see the blood on there as well. His final design has a lot more of his brain sticking out. Another character named Zack is supposedly supposed to be a remnant Psyche. But that's all for the characters. Moving on, there's two sections that I can't access titled Sound and Areas. Sounds, I would assume, feature a lot of cut voice lines, which you can probably find on YouTube. The other section is called Areas, which states that Chapter 1 was completely redone. I'll have to take their word for it, though. I can, however, look at the cutscene section, and the main one that caught my eye was a scene between Garcian, Dan, and Mills. These are only available in the form of screenshots. From what I translated, it seems that Mills might have tried to betray the Kiler7 and kill Dan. That's a pretty strange interaction with Mills there. Mills didn't really get much screen time, and it would have been cool to see more of him like this. It seems like this is all a setup for the cut mission Temple of Horizon. The animation sections is full of taken down videos, but it sounds like all of the Kiler7 had cut animations. There was a group of unused flower models that never saw the light of day. There was one for most of the members of Kiler7. I'd imagine they'd have some sort of power-up for the characters. The last section I was able to access was the textures. It features a setting for the Temple of Horizon. The website also points out that it was vaguely similar to what the prologue became. That's all I was able to find on Kiler7 cut content. I'm sure there's loads more, so maybe like the video and I'll consider doing a part 2. Although I like the way that Kiler7 turned out, it would be cool to see a lot of this stuff come to the light of day. Suda has expressed interest in maybe releasing a complete version of the game at some time. I doubt we'll ever see that happen because Capcom is Capcom, but it's interesting to talk about nonetheless.